Hello everyone, welcome back to Fridge and Pipes Garage. This is another one of Pipe's side projects. We're working on the 5.9 Cummins again today. As you've seen in the last episode, we did pull all the pistons out, pulled the crankshaft, checked all of our bearing clearances, rod and mains, cleaned up a little bit of stuff, found some not too great stuff like a heated up, well overheated rod on cylinder number 5. That one I will be replacing with one out of my current engine that's in my truck. I'm going to go through all of them and check them all and make sure they're all good, because I was looking today. I'm actually leaving the pistons in some cleaning solution to clean them up, get all the carbon off of them. Um, as I found, they are that one's not usable anymore. It's out of round, so I'm not going to be using that in this engine. I was planning on putting the pistons in tonight, but that's not going to be happening anymore. So instead, what we're going to be doing is just boring out the cylinders. Not really boring. I have a brush hone here. It's been sitting in oil for a little while, and we'll be honing the cylinders, all 6, just to make them good for our new piston rings. I finally got all of my parts in. Brand new piston rings. These are Mall. I will leave a part number in the description, and a link to where I got them from. Believe it or not, you can buy engine parts off of Amazon, and they do come in good condition. I've also got our rod bearings here and main bearings as well. I've got gasket kit here. This is our head gasket kit. This is the bottom end conversion kit, as they call it. Pretty much have everything. I'm waiting on injectors to put the top end back together. My head studs are here. So I'll be cleaning out also the threads for the head studs. I've got a thread chaser here, same brand as my head studs are from Exotic. Also, all on Amazon. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but like I said, I've looked at everything that's come in and it's all looked good. Here are our, sorry, this is a piston ring filer. We're going to be checking the gap and likely expanding it. And I will get to that when we start gapping the pistons, because I don't want to bore you with a long intro and we're already getting there. So like I said today, honing the cylinders, checking the piston ring gap. I will be installing the crankshaft as well with new main bearings, just to get that done out of the way with, but that'll be after we've honed the cylinders and cleaned them up. So without any further ado, let's get to it. So as you can see in here, we do still have the cross hatching in the cylinder bores, and that goes throughout all of them. They are just all glazed, and that is not conducive to piston ring wear, at least proper piston ring wear. They do all have a bit of a carbon gap up top here, which I will be addressing with this hone. A little bit of rust that's built up, but that's just surface, so I'm not too worried about it. But as you can see down there, the bores are shiny, and that'll cause blow-by, so we want to prevent as much of that as we can. What we are looking for in our crosshatch, and holy free holy, that has helped things tremendously. It looks awesome in there, actually. Yeah, wow, I'm impressed with myself. Of course, we're going to need to be cleaning it so all of this gunk is off, but just as a kind of base clean and see and make sure we've got proper angle and everything, it looks really good. They say 15 to 30 degrees, and I'd say that's about a 20 degree. Factory, that looks like 45, so yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. That's just one pass, and it's cleaned it up a lot, like significantly. So good work. Good work, me. So I would leave it at one pass. I do want to try and get some of this out in here, just this, the top. So I'm going to give it one more pass. Now, in all the Cummins manuals I can find, it does say to do one stroke every second. So one stroke is up and down, one stroke every second, 10 strokes at 400 RPM on a drill. This drill has a setting, it won't go any higher than 400 RPM on it, and it's 3 to 400 is what I should say. So that's perfect for our intents and purposes. So I'm going to give it another stroke here with the the saucer, and we're just gonna go for it. And you do want to keep it moving just as you come out. As well, if you're doing this at home, I don't know why you'd be following along at home on this, because first time engine build, and that's even better. That's what we're looking for right there. I'm gonna go through real quick, do the rest of these. It'll be time-lapsed for you. Enjoy. Alright, so as you can see here, we've got the cylinders cleaned out. You definitely see these grooves, the scoring. Now with a little bit more honing, could I take them out? Yes, I could. They don't catch my fingernail. And to be completely transparent here, every cylinder does have them. They are, this one looks really bad, but looks can be deceiving, and in this case they are. Doesn't catch my fingernail. If you are wondering, that Flex Home brush will be in the description below, a link to it. I got mine off of Amazon. They're made in the USA, so this is just what I kind of seen, and it got great reviews. I've heard of the company before. So Flex Home, this is a 280 grit brush. I have a 402 bore. So with this, I did go with a 4 1/4. You want it to be a little bit bigger than your cylinder bore itself. So 4 1/4 will do a 4-inch bore. This is a 402 bore. Perfectly fine. Won't cause any harm. So yeah, I'm going to clean off this deck surface here. So stay tuned. Alright, so our deck surface is all cleaned up here. I decided I'm not going to do the 400 grit vinyl once over. I don't have a flat block just to make sure it's all flat, but it is all one nice even surface. So I'm going to give the cylinders a little wipe out here, and then I'm going to proceed and start sizing up the piston rings. So we'll do each one by one. Follow along as I do that. So this is our number 1 piston. It's been soaking in cleaner for about 2 hours now, and this is your result. You may remember what they looked like when we pulled them out. Still just tons of carbon here on this ridge, but I can scrape it off with my fingernails, so that gives me good hope that I can take just a plastic razor blade after a few more hours and just clean up final with it. So we'll use these just to square off all of the rings into their bores, and we'll start with cylinder number 1. So Maul or Cleveite, or however you want to say them, they give you your rings marked 1, 2, and 3. So you know exactly which one goes where. So this will be our number 1 ring, and it's got a dot and it says top on it. So that's going to be our top ring. And this gap is going to be set pretty tight. We're just going to get that in there. Started anyway. Look at that. Whew, that's a tight gap. I got our feeler gauge Factory spec, they should land around 14 thou. I want them to be a little bit looser than that, so I'm going to go for about 18 thou when I size these up. Probably going to be a 14 thou, if I can find it here. Yeah, 14 thou we're at. The reason why I'm going for 18 thou, just a little bit bigger than factory. Heck, I'd even be happy with 19 thou on the top ring. Yeah, we're going to go for 19 thou on the top ring. The reason why I'm going for 19 thou on our top ring is because these engines, they're built for emissions. And once the cylinders start to get hot, your piston rings get closer together. So my engine obviously broke the piston rings on cylinder number 1. Not ideal. And I just don't want that to happen again. So I'm going to give myself a little bit more clearance just by clearancing up these rings. All right, so we've got our piston ring sander set up here. Now I'm just going to do only one side is all you want to do. And I'm going to hold this flat. And we're also going to grind down, downward motion. I'll tighten this up a little bit here so it moves less. Downward motion. And slow and steady wins the race. So we're just going to take a little bit off at a time, check it as we go, clean up the edges of the ring just to make sure they're all good. And I'm going to go check this again. Surprise, surprise, 19 thou was not even close to fitting. So I'm going to do this again here. Again, just clean up my edges here. A little file. I'm going to remove any burrs. And only do this to one side. Notice how I'm not doing it to the side that says top on it. I'm doing it to this side that doesn't have that on there. Just so I remember which one I've ground. I am going to do the rest of these just off camera. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, rings 1 and 2, and when the pistons are all clean and I have the new rod, then those will be going in. Till then, they'll just be packaged. But I'm going to put the crankshaft back in for tonight because it is sitting over there, and new bearings as well. So watch as I do that. All right, so we've got the block flipped back over. I've got all my new main bearings here. All my main journals cleaned up and ready for action. So I'm just going to be putting these in one by one, and you'll see me doing that here. So as you can see, one of these bearings is different from the other. That's our thrust bearing, and that's going to be going right here. That just, I don't know what it does. It's a thrust bearing. Probably controls crankshaft thrust forward and back. Put the tang end in first. Make sure they're flush. That one's good to go. Next one, we'll do the same thing. Just being careful only to touch the sides and the top. So these are standard, just replacement main bearings. Tri-metal, just like factory. And we showed that in a previous episode, the difference between tri and bi-metal. And these are tri-metal Mall bearings. Mall cleveite. I'm going to say cleveite from now on. Yeah, standard upper bearings. These were made last year in May. So if you're working in the Mall factory or cleveite factory last year in May, you may have made my engine bearings. So I hope you did a good job if you're out there. These made in the USA, made in Brazil. If you're watching in Brazil, hope you did a good job on these. And so does my engine. Okay, that is all together now. So I just lube these up. I've got Permatex Ultra Slick engine assembly lubricant. So I'm just going to put a nice coating of this on all the bearings. Make sure we don't have any dry starts. So I'm just going to spread the jelly, the lube, and then when we start this thing in a few weeks' time, we won't have any dry start issues. And we'll make sure, of course, that this spins freely when the crankshaft is in. And then, yeah, once this crankshaft's back in, we really need the other engine to go any further. So that'll be kind of our next step. Sorry, maybe a door here for a second. Slowly, we're going to let her down. Really only get one shot at getting this in, so. Whew. That was nerve-wracking. Got her, though. All right, so main caps are all cleaned up. The new bearings are in, all of them. I am just going to put them down now. Put some more Ultra Slick on the top of these. Again, just to prevent dry starts. Doesn't hurt. Oh, shoot. Almost forgot. We got to oil the threads of the bolts. Oil that. That will do ya. Not a lot. Just a little bit on the heads as well. All right, so we're going to start from the inside and work our way out. Take our rubber mallet here and seat all of these. And since my Milwaukee screw riser doesn't apply like any torque at all, I'm just going to set it to 1. Let's see it. Just kind of goes until it stops. .37 foot-pounds is what we're going to start off here. Starting on main cap number 4. There's 37. Now, after a 37, we need to go up to 59, and then it looks like we're going to do 90 degrees of rotation. So before we do that, I just want to spin the crankshaft to make sure it rotates freely. And we're going to have a fair bit of drag just because of the Permatex being so thick, but we're spinning. Starting again with main cap 4. All right, I'm gonna call it a night there. We've got our crankshaft back in. We sized up the piston rings, and our rods and pistons are being cleaned as we speak. I'll leave those soak overnight, come back to them tomorrow and finish the cleaning up of them. We also cleaned off the deck surface, the ceiling surface for the head. Everything's going together super smoothly so far with the new bearings, and crankshaft still does spin. Requires the same amount of effort it did when there was hardly any torque on them, so that's good. But anyways, I've got quite a mess to clean up here, so we'll see you in the next one, which will be soon, following this one. That's a cut, dumbass. Goodness gracious. Perfect.